look at something basic. We're going to look at an embodied approach, an Embodyoga approach to Trikonasana, one of the very, very basic postures. So, coming at it, we could come at it from so many different directions. We could do this posture from the organ body. We could do it from nervous system balancing. We could do it from bone and muscle. There's so many different ways. And what we're going to do right now is look at it from the perspective of this spiralic core idea. So, you know your vertebral column, called a column, not at all a column, much more resilient and mobile structure. And we're going to look at how we can move through the core limb, the limb that we might think of as the vertebral region, the bones, the discs, and the connective tissue. We're going to look at how we can move with and through that core limb as a thicker kind of structure, not the same thing as turn, for example, but to use the spiralic nature of our core body in order to come into Trikonasana, which, you know, it's a simple pose, but it does involve quite a bit. So I've stepped my legs out, and you can do the same. And as I do, I'm coming into just a neutral arrangement with the curves of my spine. And to do that, I want to be sure that my ischial tuberosities are not back behind me somewhere, but are actually right under me. So sometimes we'll talk about planting tulip bulbs straight into the ground through the ischial tuberosities, right? So then I've got that kind of bony connection, and then I'm going to notice and feel how, well, I've got a limb that comes all the way up through this pelvic half, and I've got another limb that comes all the way down into the earth, the foot, and all the way up through the pelvic half as well. Well, that leaves me with something we might call core. And the limbs we might call peripheral. A core is a structure that we want to keep very free, right? Not necessarily being taken along with a limb, right? But having the option, go with the limb if you want, come back if you want, right? Integrate with them in any way you want, but to maintain the choice. There's an autonomy. We talk about a calm and mobile core, or we talk about a calm and mobile spine. And when we think of the spine, we want to think of it as this very kind of thick, sinewy structure. It's a tensegratiously supported through elasticity and struts, rather than the kind of structure of a building block on block on block. No, it's got space and it moves. So, back to the wide stance, and even the planting of the ischial tuberosities, right? There's, okay, but then, the front of the pubis, there's a disc, and that disc differentiates movement from leg to leg. And I'm going to turn this back leg in, and I'm just going to rotate right around that pubic disc. And then I'm going to take the front leg buttock bone and turn it up and around so that, I just differentiated right at the disc. One pelvic half is going that way a bit, and the other pelvic half is coming this way. So it's like this, right? Keep in mind, the disc is a very mobile, articulable, squishy spot in the body. It's not a big movement, but because it's right at the center, it's critical movement. So I've taken pelvic half and pelvic half. Now, I've got this big, thick core, and this big, thick core limb can come around and just go right in the middle. Peripheral, peripheral, core. And there's resilience, right? So I'm not looking to straighten my legs and be ready to go somewhere. I'm looking here to find the relationality of my legs with the earth so that I can notice the space in the central core, thick, sinewy sort of spine, and then as with an inhale, reaching the arms out, right? Now, I want to spin around this core limb as I come to Trikonasana. I'm not interested right now in just going over it or straightening my leg or anything like that. I'm really interested in taking these core structures and actually spinning them and elongating them as I come out and into the posture. So maybe you want to do it with me, maybe you want to watch. You can watch once, you can do it again, you'll have the video. So here we go. As I'm inhaling, well, not for nothing, the pelvic floor rises. Now I'm going to take this hand onto my low belly so I can feel how there's this thick, sinewy core, the supports of my spine right in there in the center. And I've got so much support into the earth that I could literally stand here for a very long time. I'm not holding up with my spine. My spine is free and the peripheral body is supporting it. When my arm comes down, perhaps I want to reach up and around and I feel the spin come a little higher up, all the way to my head, right? The spine, all the way to your head, light, yielding deeply into the earth so you can push and straighten if you like, or not. And then when you're ready to come up, it's once again, it's down, and then the pelvic floor rises, you inhale, and you're up, and exhaling. Breathing, and here we go, spinning and yielding, spinning and yielding. Inhale, big widening, opening, and then hand comes here. It helps me, doesn't need to, but it might help you. You can come around and you can spin, and it's just like that tensegrity model I showed you a moment ago, all the way through your central core. The arm comes down, your spine is literally floating. It's free because of the structural supports all around it, the soft tissues that are suspending and supporting it. Good, and then you take support into the earth. Inhaling, you rise. Exhaling, condensing back together. Heel toe. Jump if you like, or step. Finding Townsend as the going nowhere, the doing nothing template, like a simple seat to meditate, a simple stand, Townsend. Thank you.